Yeah, Matthew 24, verse 33. So likewise, ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door, right? So we come into that time that everything that you're starting to see now is those signs, those tokens that we're at the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai, right? Verily, which means truly, I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away, shall not pass till all things be fulfilled. So, which the Lord was speaking of a future tense when he was saying that. And how do you know that he was speaking future tense? Because of the signs that he said would happen, right, before his return, right? He wasn't talking about that generation of the Peter and John and James, you know. He wasn't speaking of that time, right? He was speaking of the very times that you're living in right now, right? So with all that, I want to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. The elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners, whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father, and have come back to the fold. Shalom, to your sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson.
पीछे से भीड़ आई और उसमें मेरी बहन दब गई। बीच गई थी, हमने देखा नहीं गया। कम से कम 30 आदमी।
And the probe into Delhi stampede has gathered steam. Multiple versions of authorities have emerged as questions over what caused the Delhi stampede loom. Delhi police say that the stampede took place at the New Delhi railway station after confusion over a platform change. According to Delhi police, the announcement of the Prayagraj special arriving on platform 16 led to confusion because the Prayagraj Express was already on platform 14. The police say people on platform 14 thought their train was arriving on platform 16, leading to the stampede. Additionally, there were 4 trains heading to Prayagraj, of which 3 were delayed, causing unexpected overcrowding.
क्राउड का अंदाजा हम लोगों ने लगाया था और सिचुएशन में बता रहा हूँ, जो पूरा टाइम फ्रैक्शन ऑफ द टाइम जिसमें 10 मिनट में हुआ, उसमें ज्यादा लोगों का आना, उसके अलावा 2 ट्रेन का डिले होना। बाकी ये मैटर जो है एग्जैक्टली जो फैक्ट फाइंडिंग है वो रेलवे की तरफ से फैक्ट फाइंडिंग होगी। हमारी तरफ से जो है हमारा आज के दिन का काम एज जीआरपी हमारा है फॉर द इंक्वेस्ट एंड अदर प्रोसीडिंग, वो हमारी यूनिट कर रही है।
However, the Northern Railways CPRO, Himanshu Shekhar Upadhyay, had a different version. He says the Prayagraj special train was announced from platform 12 and people were waiting for the Prayagraj Express on platform 14, and they rushed towards platform 12 through the footover bridge, leading to the overcrowding and stampede.
प्लेटफॉर्म नंबर 14 पर नई दिल्ली रेलवे स्टेशन के प्रयागराज एक्सप्रेस आने वाली थी, तो एक बड़ी संख्या में लोग प्लेटफॉर्म पर उनका इंतजार कर रहे थे। इसी बीच भीड़ को देखते हुए स्पेशल ट्रेन 12 नंबर प्लेटफॉर्म से अनाउंस की गई। तो जो लोगों का हुजूम था, जो संख्या थी 14 नंबर प्लेटफॉर्म पर जो प्रयागराज एक्सप्रेस के लिए वेट कर रहे थे, वो फुटओवर ब्रिज होके जाने लगे। कुछ लोग प्रयागराज एक्सप्रेस का वेट करने के लिए, पकड़ने के लिए आ रहे थे, और काफ़ी संख्या में लोग फिर 12 नंबर प्लेटफॉर्म की तरफ जाने लगे। इससे फुट ओवर ब्रिज पर काफ़ी भीड़ हो गई, और इसी दौरान सीढ़ियों पर, जो फुट ओवर ब्रिज और 14-15 नंबर प्लेटफॉर्म पर थी, वहाँ पर एक भगदड़ की स्थिति उत्पन्न हो गई, जिसकी वजह से ये बहुत ही दुखद और खेदजनक हादसा हुआ।
Yeah, so this is the Hindu news article. Says the New Delhi Railway Station stampede highlights 18 dead, 15 injured. Railway gives ex gratia to victims. So strict security measures at key railway stations in UP following New Delhi stampede to ease the extra rush of passengers to Panjia. I think that's how they were saying it. Panjia. It says Northern Railway has decided to run 4 special trains. Decided to run 4 special trains. And this is an update from February 16th of 2025. Right. Yeah, so this is fair use ABC News. It says ABC News 13, right, which is in Houston, Texas. Fair use. It says earthquake, largest earthquake strikes West Texas, among strongest ever in state history. Right. Yeah, so it says a 5.0 magnitude earthquake was recorded in West Texas last Friday evening, according to U.S. Geological Survey, and could be felt by residents more than 150 miles away. In El Paso, the earthquake struck near the border of Culberson and Reeves counties at 11:23 p.m. CST, with the epicenter about 33 miles north of Toya, Texas. 3 smaller aftershocks also occurred within minutes of the first quake. There has been no immediate reported deaths or injuries. Associated with the quakes. And economic loss are expected to be minimum. So, you got this, earthquakes, right? Death tolls in different places, These are signs, scourges for amendment, right? The Guardian, the Observer, extreme weather. Yeah, fair use. This is the Guardian, the Observer. Extreme weather is our new reality, right? The thing they want to feed you people, right? This is the time that you're living in. We must accept it and begin planning Gaia events, right? Which is right here. That's as wildfires, floods, droughts are record-breaking temperatures have shown the post-climate change era has arrived. Oh, there you go. Now they get to use this as a way. Now this is the new boogeyman. Attached with the CV-19, all these other different things, right? Because now we need honesty and action from our leaders, right? So, and continuing on, where you said again, says it's not yet a quarter of a way into this century, and global average temperatures are already 1.75 Celsius above the pre-industrial average. Right? This is, January 2025 was the hottest record. It wasn't even summer yet. That's crazy. But they just throwing it out there for you. If you believe this madness. But hey, these are the things. Reality hit though. This fire. It was actually fire in California. Like it actually burned down some things. Right. Allegedly covering up evidence of P Gate. The P Gate. You know. Things connected to some Epstein type situations. Allegedly, right? But it's the hottest, right? It's the hottest on record, and has also set a record for the highest yearly minimum global surface temperatures. It says and likely the highest minimum in the past 120,000 years. Yeah, here we go. All these numbers Esau like to come up with, and it is part of a clear pattern. It is part of a clear pattern. Okay, yeah, okay. Last year's global average pre-industrial sobering reality check, given that only 3 months ago that the UN COP23 summit in what,
Baku, Azerbaijan.
still declaring that limiting global temperature rises to 1.6 Celsius was within reach. Yeah. So, yeah. So, and you got this USA Today, fair use. Says immigration, uh, Mexican flag waving protesters are turning everyone against them. Opinion, right? Rude, rowdy Mexican flag draped. Yeah, protesters in Phoenix and in Los Angeles are turning anti-Trump Trump activists into the president's best friend. Yeah, because it's crazy. A lot of them, they didn't even. You might maybe you've seen one American flag, but pretty much every last one of them are waving a Mexican flag, protesting about being here in America. Right? That's kind of crazy. It says key points: Latin protesters against immigration enforcement are alienating many Americans, including those who are not part of the mega movement. It says these protesters only play into the hands of those who seek to restrict immigration. Right? It says Latino activists should focus on the positive contributions that Latino American immigrants made to the U.S. Economy and society. Right? They said, man, basically, you gotta play the white man's game. You need to bow down. It says, I understand the energy and enthusiasm of the youth, but cooler heads in the Latino community in Phoenix and Los Angeles might want to stage a intervention with their young protesters. It says in these two major. It says right here in these two major Western cities, among others across the United States, they are marching with Mexican flags, blocking traffic, taking over public spaces. So basically saying you doing that is making other people, even if they wasn't part of the mega, it's making them regret that they was said it's okay for immigrants. So they say, hey, you know what? F that. We do want them out of here. You're just blocking our streets. I'm on my way to work. I'm trying to get my things done. And you're just blocking streets? Yeah. That's what they're saying. It says in Los Angeles, they are attacking police and shutting down a major freeway. They are spray painting F-ICE on placards and buildings, essentially telling U.S. immigration and custom enforcement to drop dead. Right? So they say they're using that against them. But hey, man, you're gonna come against you anyway. You're Jakes, you're Israelites. But this is like one of those things that the Lord said was going to the uproars of the people, right?
Our top story tonight on Gravitas comes from West Asia. Iran has openly threatened to strike Israel for a third time. A direct warning from Tehran, not just meant for Israel, but also for the US and the fragile ceasefire in Gaza. that any collapse of the deal would lead to a huge conflagration. According to a high-ranking IRGC commander, in fact, a third direct strike on Israel is inevitable. IRGC Deputy Commander Ali Fadawi stated that the attack, codenamed True Promise 3, would happen, quote-unquote, at the right time, without providing further details. In fact, Iran has already launched 2 significant missile attacks on Israel in the past year, making this threat all the more serious. In April, Iran unleashed over 300 missiles and drones towards Israeli military installations as a retaliation for the killing of 2 of its generals in Damascus. And then in October, Iran launched Operation True Promise 2, firing around 200 missiles in response to the assassination of key Iran-backed leaders, including former Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah. And now the announcement by the IRGC Deputy Commander coming just a day after the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to counter Iran's influence and curb its nuclear ambitions. Netanyahu, in fact, claimed that Israel had inflicted substantial damage on Iran since the war in Gaza started, and with US support, was determined to, quote-unquote, finish the job. Listen in.
Today, Secretary Rubio and I had a very productive discussion with our staffs on a number of issues. None of them are more important than Iran. Israel and America stand shoulder to shoulder in countering the threat of Iran. We agreed that the Ayatollahs must not have nuclear weapons. And we also agreed that Iran's aggression in the region has to be rolled back.
And there can never be a nuclear Iran. A nuclear Iran that could then hold itself immune from pressure and from action. That can never happen. The president's been clear about that as well.
And as you could see, you have your wars, and now you have your rumors of wars, right?
Been over a week since the international peacekeeping mission led by Kenya began operations in Haiti. A 400-strong elite police unit from Kenya has been deployed to curb violence perpetrated by armed gangs in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. Over the weekend, hundreds of officers from the East African nation conducted foot patrols in several neighborhoods which had fallen to gangs. Local Haitians embraced the police presence as they demanded an end to mafia and gang rule. Meanwhile, gang leader Jimmy Chirizier has rejected the deployment of the Kenyan troops. In fact, Chirizier has declared war on the international peacekeeping mission and called the Kenyan police forces the invaders of Haiti.
Yeah, so this is Matthew 24 and 31 says, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, right? Going into this, that seventh trumpet, but we're in between that. We're about the sixth trumpet, right? So right now, and they shall gather his elect, right? And ultimately, right now we're on the highways and the byways preaching and also known as angels, right? Because angels means messengers, giving forth the message of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, which is his son. And the word is gathering his elect also, right? Which this is dealing with the chariots in the time of that nuclear destruction, right? Simultaneously being delivered in the midst of that fire, of nuclear fire, right? And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, right? From all over the world, from one end of the earth even to the other, right? Because that's one thing that's happening. We're sounding that spiritual trumpet of that warning, and letting the word, not ourselves, but the word of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, gather the elect. It says, and now, learn a proverb, learn a proverb of the fig tree, wherein his branch is yet tender, right? And another part of the fig tree is what? The nuclear missiles, right? And put forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So we know we're coming to the time that nuclear destruction is about to happen, right? That's basically the proverb of the fig tree, because figs, they kind of basically have a shape like a nuclear missile, right? It says, likewise, when ye shall see all these things, that it is near, even unto the door, right? So now we know basically the title of this lesson, right? Because now we're starting to see these things actually happen upon the earth. And it's nigh, even, it's near, or nigh, even unto the door, unto the doors, right? It's going to be that great judgment, right? Verily I say unto you, this generation, right? Which the Lord was speaking future tense, because he's speaking about this generation that we're in now, even though he was speaking a little more than 2,000 years ago. At that time when he was alive, he had to be speaking of this very time, because this very time is when those things are actually happening, right? This generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Well, you got, you got the first woe, the second woe, right? World War I, World War II. And then it says what the third woe comes quickly. And we haven't happened to have the third woe quite yet, but we're on the cusp of it actually coming to pass, right? It's nigh or near at the doors, right? It says heaven and earth shall pass away. So like this age, this world structure that you see now under Esau Edom is going to pass away, but my word shall not pass away, right? Dealing with as the elect, the Lord delivering his elect, you being given the new body, and that new body will have what? The law, statutes, and commandments written in your inward parts, meaning what? The word of Yahweh cannot pass away. You know what I'm saying? Should never pass away. Should not pass away, because it will be within into your inward parts, right? So, yeah, so this is Revelation chapter 11, verse 13. In the same hour was there a great earthquake, right? So we hear about all these different earthquakes, but then there's going to be a greater earthquake, which will be the ICBM missiles hitting America, right? And there's 10 FEMA zones, and the 10th part of the city, which is talking about America, Babylon the Great, because there's 10 FEMA zones, right? And the earthquake were slain of men. It says, and 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the power, the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai of heaven, right? Because there's 7,000, which will be the elect. 7,000, the Lord said he reserved 7,000 that will not bow down the knee to Baal, right? Which will be dealing with the elect, right? 12,000 from every tribe, which will be the elect, right? And an innumerable multitude, the 1/3, that shall be saved. This is the second woe, right? So you had World War I and World War II is past. Behold, the third woe comes quickly, right? So that's what we're waiting on. One on World War III, that for that third woe to come and come quickly, and we're even at the doors. We're near to the doors, right, of that actually happening, right? Yeah, so this is Revelation chapter 9, verse 11. And they had a king over them, right? So because you got these so-called Illuminati, you got the shadow government, right? They're ruling this and that. They get their marching orders from the spiritual demon Satan, right? Which is an angel, right? Which is a messenger, right? And this is the one who bring their message from Satan of the bottomless pit, which will be Europe, right? Right? Or Eurasia, right? Western Asia, right? Whose name in the Hebrew tongue, Abaddon, Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue have his name Apollyon, right? Which is dealing with these the Illuminati, right? The rulers, shadow government, right? The Bilderbergs, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, right? Dealing with those so-called class of people, right? Because they come from that region, that bottomless pit region, right? South Georgia, Russia, which is right on the cusp of Russia and Europe, right? Right. Parts of the Caucasus Mountains is in Europe, right? Or what they call Europe, but it's all Asia, right? Eurasia or Asia, right? Because I believe even Russia would be considered part of Asia, right? So it's all one big region. So, but then it says woe, right? One woe, right? Which would be, World War One, destruction, judgment, things that's happening, death, which talking about World War One. The first woe is past, so we know that already passed. And behold, there come a second woe, right? So we had World War II, I believe. World War II with the whole thing with Hitler and all that other type of thing, right? You had the Manhattan Project, right? When they, I believe that's when they let off the Fat Boy and Little Man's, because he caused a fire to come down from heaven, right? All those things have happened already, right? And more hereafter, right? Which would be the third woe, which we already read about that, because then it says the third woe, what comes quickly. Yeah, so this is Revelation chapter 6, right? Which just, Revelation is basically future prophecy. So we were showing you there were at that time of future, and some of that already came to pass, but then you still have the future because the third woe hasn't came quite yet, but it's even at the door. So these are the things that you're supposed to be looking for, right? For the second coming of our Lord. It says, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, right? And it's not talking about actual stars, because it's going to show you, even as the fig tree casteth her untimely figs, which going into the parable that the Lord gave about the fig trees, right? Because you should know that it's that time. Just like when you see the summer, it sprouts, it gets the leaves, it'll have that little flower and start budding and have the little flower with the pollen. The bees come, pollinate, germinate, cause it to basically impregnate the tree, spreading that seed around, right? But when things have to get, when the tree's not somehow not when the seasons are all off, like the weather, like right now, because we read the thing about how the weather pattern with the weather, it is weird, kind of weird, right? It was like hot, then it was cold. It's some weird weather, right? That's happening right now. So with the weird weather, which not to mention it's basically going into the Lord speeding up the time. So then it's going to be like an untimely fruit because the Lord's going to cut off the time. It's not going to have time to grow into a full fruition. Why? Because the Lord has to cut off this devil's rulership, right? Right. Matter of fact, I'm going to that too. That made me just think of that because it says that if the Lord didn't cut it short, no flesh will be saved, right? So it says untimely figs when she is shaken of her mighty wind, right? She's going into those ICBM missiles, and the heaven depart as a scroll, right? Going into a mushroom cloud, those mushroom clouds, when it is rolled together, and every mountain, right, government and island were moved out of their places, right? So they're not going to be ruling anymore, right? This will be the end of Esau's age, but just the end of heathens ruling over the world just in general, right? Yeah, so this is Matthew 24 and 21. For then shall be great tribulations, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, right? To this same time, right? Like it was saying, no, nor ever shall be. And it's never going to be a day like this ever again, right? Except those days should be shortened, right? Should be set. Those days should be shortened. There should no flesh be saved. See, and so the Lord, he has to shorten, cut it off. So therefore, what untimely fruit or untimely figs would have to fall down, basically, and it's basically actually a representation of what the missiles, right? You have to cut down the time so that they come upon the earth, right, in an untimely fashion, right? Or if not, no flesh would be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So the Lord has to save those 7,000 that would not bow down the knee to the system, to Baal. You know, the 12,000 from each tribe that would not get the Karax, Grapho, right? Would not worship the fourth industrial system, right? Their technocracy, right? Yeah, so this is Isaiah chapter 34 and 4. And all the hosts, right, with all these basically militaries around the world, the Lord is going to have them angry with the whore, right, which is America, Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, also known as spiritually Egypt, spiritually Sodom, spiritually the merchant city, Nineveh, the Assyrian, right, because the Lord said that they're the Assyrian, the rod of what? The Lord's anger, right, being the hammer of the whole earth, but the hammer of the whole earth is going to be what? Dashed into pieces, right? So all these hosts, which means armies, are going to come against this place, America, Babylon the Great. And it says, and all the hosts of heavens, right, all the militaries of the earth shall be dissolved, right? The Lord's going to take them out of their place. But before they do that, before that happens, they're going to come against America, Babylon the Great. And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. So they're going to shoot all their missiles, the armory, all their missiles, right, to America, Babylon the Great. And to roll together as a scroll, right? And that's going into that being that mushroom cloud. It's going to poof. And you see that mushroom, and then you see how it opens up in the sky, right? As a mushroom cloud, what they call a mushroom cloud, but he didn't know to call it a mushroom cloud. He said it was like it opened up like a scroll. It rolled together as a scroll, and all the hosts, right, which means armies, shall fall down as the leaf falleth from the vine, and as the falling fig, right? Going into what the Lord said, Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, right? Which his real name is Yahushai. Falling fig from the fig tree, right? In an untimely manner, because they had to shorten the days, man, so that the elect could be saved. Because if this devil keeps ruling, it'd be nothing authentic about the place, right? Everything's synthetic and artificial, right? You have an artificial intelligence, right? Which means it's not really it's artificial, right? Artificial flavoring, artificial colors. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's authentic, right? For my sword, right, which is talking about the ICBM missiles, and that's the Lord's sword. He set claim on that, right? And that it is what it is. Yeah, you created it, but the Lord gave you the know-how, the information, the intelligence. He put it in their brain to do it. He sealed it. He sealed the things for them to do in their dreams. And they woke up and created the ICBM missiles, man. Created the atomic, and then they created nuclear. And that is basically the Lord's sword. And my sword shall be bathed in heaven, right? Going into the outer atmosphere of the earth, and then coming down upon the earth, exploding in the sky, pushing fire and hot wind everywhere, right? It says, behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. It shall come down upon Idumea, right? Which is a Greek way of saying Edom. But you got to figure out, how did a Greek way of Edom become to be in Isaiah when Isaiah spoke Hebrew? And the Greeks weren't even ruling at this time, right? So how did a Greek, so it tells you that they've been tampering with the Bible, which is understandably why they have to be destroyed. Because the Lord already said, if you add or you take from this book. So they add and they took from it, but they thought what they'll do is leave the truth, but not really the truth. Because now it's in a deceptive way of being in Greek instead of actual Hebrew, right? But that's okay. We understand it. That's still Edom, right? The descendants of Esau. Edom, the Edomites. Upon Edom, upon upon Idumea, Salakia, and upon the people of my curse, right? Because they got the leprosy, and they're born to be wicked. The people of the Lord's curse. To judgment, right? And that's this place, Babylon the Great. Yeah, the sword of Yahweh Basham Yahushai is filled with the blood, and it is made with the fatness, with fat, and with the fatness, and with the blood of lambs, right? The lambs dealing with you Israelites, you 2/3, and the goats, right, which would be Esau, right, the Edomites, and with the fatness and the kidneys of rams, and that goes into these other nations, right? Because you got the sons of God, right, which would be like the lambs. You got the sons of the wicked, which would be the goats, and you got the sons of men, which would be the other nations, which would be these rams, right? And these other nations, and the Lord's gonna destroy them. For Yahweh, Basham Yahushai, haveth a sacrifice in Basra, because this is called the so-called melting pot, America. You got all these different nationalities here, but once the destruction come, hey, when fire, it's not gonna say, hey, you're this and you're this person, so I'm not gonna, no, you're all wicked. First of all, you all get your judgment, and not to mention you're not the elect. So it has to, what devour you has to be what the Lord's sacrifice. The Lord haveth a sacrifice in Basra, which that's another, let you know that has to do with Esau, Edom, right? Idumea, right? Basra is the chief place in, oh yeah, that's another place that America is, Basra, right? And the chief place of Edom, also known as Basra, that's America. And a great slaughter in the land of what? Idumea, right? Which that's this place right here. So America is also known as Idumea, right? This is Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, right? So we having that right now, and uproars of the people. So that we're having that also, right? Seeing the Mexicans, they have to, oh, well, how are you gonna try to deport us? You know what I mean? Hey, man, but these are all the things that the Lord is creating, man, to stir up all these different things. What for judgment, uproars of the people in the world, right? Then shall thus well understand that the Most High, right, Yahweh, Basham Yahweh Shai, spoke of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning, right? The Lord tells the end from the beginning. Right, so this is back to Matthew 24, right? And chapter 6, because it's our Lord speaking, so it's heavy. It's a lot. It's actually a lot that he said in Matthew 24, obviously, as you could see. So it's the Lord. It's in red, so that's the Lord speaking. Yahweh Shai himself speaking. The letter J is only 4,500 years old, so there's no such thing as the Lord name being Jesus, right? And just not to mention Jesus just means earth pig, right? Right. But susk was like a filthy, like a pig. Susk. And cheese, yeah, it's basically, yeah, like earth pig. Sus meaning filthy or dirty, a dirty pig. Right? And so that definitely not the Lord, right? Who walked the earth perfect, without a spot, blemish, wrinkle, blemish, died, buried, sitting on the right hand of the Father, right? For the elect's sake, and really ultimately for all of Israel's sake. So we know that that's not happened, right? For the world's sake, and that world being Israel, right? And it says, ye shall hear of wars, right? So we're having that, the wars and rumors of wars, and we're having these rumors of wars, right? Because they're bringing these different military people over into Haiti that has nothing to do with that. They ass belong in South Africa, some goddamn where, man. They don't have no business being there. But these are the things that the Lord is allowing to happen, right? For the ultimate judgment, man. Right? Ultimately, you're gonna be judged on a heavy scale, man. Esau and you other nations, man. Right? And it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So we're not, but it's even what? It's even at the door. It's not yet, but it's there. World War III is right there. So we're about at the end of this whole thing. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, right? So you got the nation, nationality against nationality. You got race wars. You got different, small nations and stuff coming up against each other. They were saying, what is it? No, it was the Ethiopians against the Somalians. Ethiopians and Somalians, which are two Hamite nations, but according to them, even though they're both Ham, they're two separate nations, so they came up against each other, right? But they're talking about peace talks between each other, right? And it's probably mostly so they can bring in that charagma, because Ethiopia just pushed for everybody to get the digital ID and attach that digital ID to their banks, and everybody in Ethiopia have a year to comply, right? So these are things that they're doing. So it says, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence. So we had the CV-19 that went across the world, and then you got these other things that they're talking about that's so-called, plaguing the world, so to speak, right? People are so-called, it says, getting all these different, sicknesses, influenzas, and whatever it may be. I don't know. I ain't a medical person, so I'm not saying anything medical, right? But this is just the things that's happening in the world. That's what the Lord said would happen, and it's happening, right? Famines, pestilence, and earthquakes, in diverse places. So you have one in Texas, which is not a normal thing. It's the biggest they ever had in their history. You got earthquakes in Alaska that they said it's about to make a volcano erupt in Alaska. So you got all sorts of things that the Lord is showing He's on His way back, right? And all these are the beginning of sorrows, right? And this is just the beginning of what the Lord is bringing. Yeah, so this is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Right? So that's what's coming down the pike, sort of speak, what they used to say in those old sayings, right? Because they mess with Russia's financial system once upon a time before, and collapse their dollar, which that's one of the things that Russia's threatening about now. Putin is saying if that happens again, you're automatically going to go into war. So they just might do that again because, hey, it worked, right? It basically stopped the Cold War from turning into a hot war because they basically hacked into their system and somehow collapsed the ruble. I believe that's what it's called in Russia, the ruble, and collapsed their dollar. So that way that the American dollar became stronger, right? But then even with all that they did, Russia is on top again. The Russia's military stronger. Their dollar is doing decent compared to America. It's not probably super on top, but it's doing decent compared to America, where they even came in cahoots with other nations and said, hey, let's just not use the American dollar because that dollar has so much power. If we just stop using it, it'll take the power away, which on a daily basis, that's what's happening, right? So Trump has to come in and say tariff. But that all those things are ways to cover up that we're really into inflation, that the dollar is collapsing. So basically, you're gonna have to pay more, and then what you say is it's because of the tariffs. It's tax, the taxes that they put on all these tariffs. This is why you're paying more at the pump. And this is why, and then so people go, yeah, I guess I understand that they're making, and he has to battle with that because we've been duped throughout all these years. We paid more to every other system, and no other system has ever given back to America, which is true. But they've been getting away with it for so long. They're not thinking about actually, putting you back. Instead, what the Lord said, hey, they're going to delight in your silver and your gold. Forget about it. Their bows shall also dash the young men to pieces, right? You're going to this Third World War. You're going to be fighting all these different things. And the Lord's going to put an evil thought in their mind and say, hey, F it. Send the missiles to Babylon itself, to America, right? But to what? To Idumea, the land of Idumea, or Basra, right? Which that's what the Lord said He's coming to visit Basra, right? For that destruction, to make sure that destruction takes place. It says, and they shall have no pity upon the fruit of the womb, neither their eyes shall show no pity. Their eyes shall not spare children, Salakia. And Babylon, which is America, right? Idumea, Basra, Sodom, Egypt, right? Assyria, right? Right, that place, the daughter of Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, right? Because it's been ruling over all these other kingdoms for this whole time and doing these things. And every other place looked up to, oh, America, America. I want to go to America, right? It's the great place, the land of the free. You could do anything you want to in America. You can have all these great riches, and then you can step over the back of the so-called black black man and Hispanic man and Native Indian man, you know. It says, the beauty of the Chaldeans, right, the witchcraft, all these things, the ecstasy shall be as when, right, prove to you that this is also spiritually Sodom, right, when shall be as when the power of the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, and that's this place, America, Babylon the Great, and that's the thing that's about to happen. So now you're seeing what? Wars, rumors of wars, uproars of the people. You're seeing all these different things that's actually happening, calamities, people trampling each other, you know. Matter of fact, let me end on that real quick. Yeah, so it's Amos chapter 6, verse 9. And it shall come to pass, if there remain 10 men in one house, they shall die. So this is one of those scriptures we use, showing you that the Lord is going to start killing people in great numbers. So you've seen that in the what's it called, the Hindu thing. It said that the Hindu article, it said that the 18 people died and another 15 injured, all from people stampeding. And it sounded like the government or whoever that is did that on purpose, because they said it was supposed to be 3 or 4 trains that was supposed to come to go to the same place, you know, because that's one of those places you got to have it like that. I think India or whatever has over 2 or 3 billion people in one country. Like it's a country filled with people. So you would need trains, 3 or 4 or 5 to come at the same time. And so I think they did that on purpose and stalled the other 3, and then said that there was only 1 train coming, and then told these people that they were going to be able to get on this train, and then told them that it was on the other platform at the last minute. And with all those people, and you're trying to get home, you're like, fuck that. I'm just finna jet over there. I'm finna catch that one so I can get up out of here. And in the midst of that, hey, lots of people got killed. And so that's what one of these things that we use on these scriptures, we use as showing that the Lord is going to start killing people in great numbers. Right? So with all that, I want to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the 4 winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and above all, Kwam Yasharallah.